Hello students, welcome to this session. I have just solved this JEE Main Test 73 and here's the analysis of this paper. So the paper is a nice one. It's a perfectly balanced paper, neither easy nor very difficult, but definitely not easy for sure. 4 questions are tough. One of the question on numerical aperture, I doubt how many you remember a formula. And similarly, if I see there's 7 questions that are regarded as easy and remaining 14 are medium. In question number 14, they have asked for mi about x-axis, but no option is coming. The option is according to mi about the z-axis. So overall, it's a good paper. It would be not easy to score. Again, I say if you score 55 plus, you are going decent, and if you are preparing for advance, you should get 75 to 80 plus in this particular paper if you are looking for good rank in that. So let's begin the paper. See the first question. Imagine an atom made up of a proton and a hypothetical particle of double the mass of the electron but having the same charge as the electron. Okay, charge same, mass double. Apply the Bohr atomic model and consider all possible transaction of this particle to the first excited level. Okay, the longest wavelength that will be emitted has wavelength x in terms of Rydberg constant of hydrogen atom. So first remember, if I can remember, energy expression in nth state is minus m e to the power 4 8 epsilon naught square h square. That is what you remember, 13.6 ev z square by n square. So, and similarly Rydberg constant also depends on that, because the lambda value hc by lambda will depend on this value. So the energy, the magnitude of energy will depend on the mass. Here the mass has doubled, so the energy will be doubled, so effectively Rydberg constant will be doubled. So here the longest wavelength that can be emitted for first excited state would be from n equal to 3 to n equal to 2. So what we can have here, so 1 upon lambda would be r will effectively become 2r into 1 upon 2 square minus 1 upon 3 square. So what you have, 2r, this comes out as 9 minus 4 by 36. So lambda comes out as 36 by 10r. That is what we are getting, 36 by 10r. If I simplify it, it could be written as 18 by 5r. So option C. So just remember these proportionality. I always say my students to remember this thing, how the energy on the nth state in the fundamental constant, because here that fundamental thing has been altered. Next, we have a spherical ball of 4 kg moving along a straight line, strikes another spherical ball of 1 kg which was at rest. After collision, they move with velocity v1 and v2, makes an angle 30 and 60 with respect to the original direction of A. The ratio will be, so it's an oblique collision. So what I can say, let's say this is initial velocity of A, UA, this was somewhere B was placed, and let's say this is x-axis and let's say this is y-axis sort of thing. Now after collision, A, let's say, goes here with velocity v1 at an angle 30 degree, and it will definitely go here at an angle 60 degree. So first of all, what we will have, because y momentum initially was 0, so final will also be 0. So what we have, ma v1 sine 30 balances mb v2 sine 60. This is the first thing we'll have. So what we'll have, 4 times v1 into 1 by 2 is equal to 1 into v2 into root 3 by 2. So first what we are getting here, we have 4 v1 is root 3 v2. Okay, so we can make it out the ratio from here only. So v1 by v2 is root 3 by 4. You need not to apply the equation in the x-axis. Your required solution coming out only from this. Next one, we have a body of 1 kg starts moving from rest at 0 in a circular path of radii 8. Kinetic energy is varying, that means speed is changing. Then, so first of all, kinetic energy you say is half mv square. So half into 1 into v square is 2t square. That comes out as v square is 4t square. I can say speed as 2t. So at I can write it as derivative of speed, not of velocity. So speed derivative is 2. So tangential acceleration always would be equal to 2 meter per second square. So first option is false. Next, the power of all forces at t equal to 2 seconds. So power, if I talk about power, is always given by tangential force only, that is ft into v. So ft would be 2 into 1, 2 newton, and velocity at 2 seconds you can make out as 4, that comes out as 8 watt. Yes, so power of all forces at t equal to 2 seconds is 8 watt. So we need not to check other options, go for this b1. Next, a potential of 220 volt is applied across a rheostat of 12,000 ohms. Okay, voltmeters resistance 6000 and distance BC is 1/4 the distance from A to B. Okay, the error in the reading of the voltmeter is approximately. So because it is 1/4, so I can redraw this as between A and C and B like this. So this is RV. This was 12,000 ohms, so this will be R by 4 and this would be 3R by 4. And you have applied 220 volts. So first of all, what it is going to measure, that is between B and C. So what I can make out, this equivalent between this would be equals to R dash would be R by 4 would be 3000 into 6000 upon 3 plus 6, that is 9000. So this comes out as 2000 ohms, and this remaining will be what we can say 9000 ohms. So the voltage VBC I can directly say would be 2 by 2 plus 9 into 220. So it comes out as 2 by 11 into 220, so that is 20 into 2, 40 volts. So the V measured is 40 volts. Ideally what you wished when voltmeter was not there, it would have been like this, only 3 R by 4 and R by 4. So what truly we wished, the voltage we wished was that would be 1 by 4 of the applied one, which is 220 into by 4, which basically comes out as what we can write as 55. So instead of 55 you have measured 40. So the error is, you can say, of the 15 volts error you will definitely see. So percentage error would be this 15 upon 55 into 100. So this is 3 by 11 into 100%, that is 300 by 11. 300 by 11 if you do, that's approximately 27%. Closest one would be option A. So it's an interesting question, that not a very tough. If you are familiar with these error of voltmeter ammeters, you can do this. Now, RMS value of AC which when passed through a resistor produces heat which is twice that produced by a steady current of 1.414. Okay, so in AC the loss is I RMS square R, that is twice that produced by this I square R. So I RMS you can directly make out is root 2 times this I, that is root 2 times root 2, that comes out as 2 ampere. So the RMS value is going to be 2 ampere. We'll go for option A. Next, two conducting spheres A and B, radii A and B are at the same potential. Okay, the ratio of the surface charge density will be, we directly remember V at surface can be written as sigma R by epsilon naught if you convert that things into sigma and everything. So what we'll have, sigma A RA upon epsilon naught should be equal to sigma B RB upon epsilon naught. So the ratio of sigma A to sigma B is RB upon RA. So RB upon RA as per this is equal to B by A. So this comes out as option A. Go for option A. Next one. So B by A. Next, two uniform long charged wires density lambda 3 lambda are along x and y axis. Determine the slope of the electric field at any point on the line y equal to root 3x. Again, this is a repeated one. We did this question probably in NEET or JEE Main. I don't remember because I solved both. So I have done the same question a day or two back. So let's say this is lambda and this wire is 3 lambda like this. So let's say on the line y equal to root 3x, if I take this line y equal to root 3x, take any point, it would be h comma root 3h. So now first of all, due to this lambda the field is along the y-axis. This would be, let's say, Ey, and this would be along x-axis Ex. So the Ey component would be due to this lambda 1, that is 2k lambda, and this gap would be root 3h. And E due to x-axis a component would be 2k into 3 lambda by distance is what we can say is equal to h. That is what we will have, and this would be the direction of the field that you remember. So the angle tan theta is Ey by Ex, you all know. So if I divide it, it comes out as 1 by 3 root 3. If I do this, this comes out as Ey by Ex is 1 by 3 root 3. So go for option C. Next one. You have a particle A of mass m, charge q, accelerated by a difference of 50. Another B, 4mq, accelerated by 250. Ratio of de Broglie wavelength. So we used to know lambda is h by mv, which you write as h by root 2 mk, and this k is qe. So what we'll have, lambda of A to lambda of B would be what you will need. This would be mb upon ma into qb upon qa into vb upon va whole under root. So mb by ma, that is 4, qb by qa, that is 1, vb by va is what we have, 50. So 50 into 4, that is root 200. So root of 200, that is approximately what you have, between 14 and 15 it will come, so 14.14 I can go for. Next one, current I is flowing through the loop. Okay, the direction of the current and the shape of the loop are as shown. The magnetic field at the center is. So first of all, due to this quarter loop, what I will write, mu naught I upon 4 pi, and what we have, this r would be, r is given as 2r, and this angle would be sorry, that angle is 9 theta, right? So that is pi by 2, and this I will take out the direction because it is going the clockwise, it would be inwards. Now due to this 3/4 loop, it would be mu naught I upon 4 pi r, and this would be 3 pi by 2, and again this is inwards. So what we will have, mu naught I upon, I can take out 4 pi r as common, so I will have pi by 4, and here I will have 3 pi by 2. So what I come out, so here the LCM will be 4 and 3, 3, 6, so it becomes 7 pi mu naught I upon this 4 will become, what I can say, this 4 and 4 will become 16, so 16 pi r, so I can cancel this pi, 7 mu naught I by 16 r, and you are getting this is inwards. So look at the options, what we have, the options that are we having is 7 by 16 are 2, out or in, we are saving in. I have not taken the screenshot, it's not clear, it's like this. Okay, next one, it was not coming in the single screen, that's why it wasn't taken properly. Yes, small bead 1 kg free to move on a circular hoop. The circular hoop at a center at C and radius 1 rotates about a fixed vertical axis. Friction coefficient between the bead and the hoop is 0.5. Maximum angular speed of the hoop for which the bead doesn't have relative motion with respect to the hoop. So in the frame of this hoop, it is going in this circle, so let's say apply a pseudo force that I call it as omega square r. This would be the normal, and as the speed increases, this m omega square r component along this line will try to take it upwards, so friction will act like this. This would be the friction acting, and this is what you have, this is your mg. Now, so first of all, what we will have, for the maximum case, we just balance it out in this tangential direction. So angles are 45, so you need not to care about anything. What I can write, m omega square r into 1 by root 2 cos or sin 45, whatever you take, that is upwards. That should be in limiting case balanced by mg sin theta plus fs max, not fk, sorry, this is fs because it is at rest with respect to the bead, so that is fs max. And in the normal direction it would be balanced, so normal must be equals to m omega square r by root 2 plus mg 1 by root 2, that is we are going to get. Now what is this r? This r I means by this r, sorry, so I should write it as r dash, not r, this is r dash. And if I write this r dash, what I have, this is r dash and this is r, this angle is 45, so I can make out r dash is equal to r by root 2. So r dash is r by root 2, so what we will now have, the normal is m omega square r by 2 plus mg by root 2 I have, and put it above, what I will have, m omega square, in the limiting case omega max square, this again becomes r by 2, that is mg sin theta plus fs max. Fs max is 1 by 2 of n, which is m omega again max square, I can write by 2 plus mg by root 2. This is also mg by root 2, I can write it like this. So it's better of sin theta, I should write it as mg by root 2. So now what we have, this m goes. Now so omega terms, if I take it there, this becomes omega max square r by 4, and what it becomes, it is g by root 2 plus g by 2 root 2, that is what I am getting. Okay, so this is what I got. So omega max square, from here what I can get, and this is what we have, simplify this would be 4 by r into 2 root 2, that is 3g upon 2 root 2, that is what we are getting. Now so this is cancel it up, this is 3g upon root 2 r, okay, no, okay, 3 root 2, sorry, be careful, this is 3 root 2 g by r, put it's come out as 30 root 2, that is because r is 1, so that is omega max square. So omega max would be equal to 30 root 2 under root, and as per this option, okay, the D option, I was not able to take the screenshot, that is 30 root 2 to the power half, so that is the answer, option D. So it's a nice question. Next one, A stone is to hit a point which is at a distance d and at a height h away. Okay, what is the value of initial speed u if the stone is launched at an angle theta? So it is to hit this particular thing. So we can directly apply the equation of trajectory y equal to x tan theta minus gx square upon 2u square cos square theta. This point's coordinate is d comma h, lies on the trajectory. So it lies on the trajectory, that means h is d tan theta minus gx square upon 2u square cos square theta sec square theta. That becomes 1 plus tan square theta. That is our standard operating procedure whenever we solve such questions. So but here the options are somewhat in terms of gy cos theta. So let me try it. What we are solving for, we are solving for the value of the u. So let me do this. So this comes out as gx square 1 plus tan square theta upon 2u square comes out as d tan theta. So this u comes out as under root of what I get, g x square 1 plus tan square theta upon 2 d tan theta. Okay, that is what we are getting. And where is h? H has gone, it is here. So it is 2d tan theta minus h. So comparing with that, so what we will have, I can make it out from the options that I am looking at. It is somewhat either a or b. So what I should do, I should take it gx square. So x square is d square, so I should write it d square. Okay, so take out that d thing. So what we have, d is taken out, and what we have 1 plus tan square theta, I should write it as sec square theta or 1 upon cos square theta. So cos theta will come out, and this would be left with g upon 2 d tan theta minus h. It was like that because that vector will come like this. So going by this, option B is the most appropriate one. You can go for it. So you need not to write it 1 plus tan square theta, keep it as cos square theta only. This is what is required here. Next, the surface of a certain metal is first illuminated with this light, then with this light. It is found that maximum speed in the two cases differ by a factor of 2. That means k max is 4 times of that. So in the first one, it would be definitely greater. So hc by lambda 1 minus phi is equal to 4 times of hc by lambda 2 minus phi. That is for sure. So what we have now, so what we have 3 phi, I take it here, 4 hc by lambda 2 minus hc by lambda 1. So 4 hc, take it as common, or let me solve it whatever way I wish. So let's say phi is 1 by 3 of 4 hc, that is 4 into 1240 upon lambda 2 is 540 minus 1240 upon 350. So if I do this, this comes out as 54 upon 124. This is 2, this is 27. So if in the table of 27 if it comes, I don't think it comes. So let me have it 248 by 27 minus 124 by 35. So what you will have, this is approximately 270, 248, it is 9, I suppose, 9 point something, and this would be, this is 3 point something. So it would be 6, around 6 by 3, that is around 2 or slightly less than 2 here. So 1.8 would be the nearest one if you do it completely. Next one. An electron, mass and charge, experiences no deflection. I think this question I have done yesterday. Sorry, a magnetic field is because the fields are normal to each other. If the electric field is removed, the electron will revolve in an orbit radius. So first, no deflection means the velocity is e by b. When electric field is removed, the radius would be mv by qb, and v is e by b. So it comes out as me by qb square. So put it, m is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. E is what it is, 3.2 into 10 to the power 5. Q is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. B square would be 4 in 10 to the power minus 6. So 19 and 6, 27, 27 and 5, 32. So that above would be 10 into 9.1 into 3.2 upon 4 into 1.6, that is 6.4. So this is 2. So this comes out as what we have, 9.1 by 2 or 91 by 2, 91 by 2. So 91 by 2 you are getting. Okay, 19 and 6, 25 and 5, 30. Okay, I was wrong, it is 10 to the power minus 1. So it is 0.91 by 2, that is 0.45 meter approximately. So be careful, 19 and 6 was 25, I did it 26 and 5, so that was wrong. So it is 0.45 meters here. Next one. You have 4 holes of radius r cut from a thin square plate of side 4r and m. Okay, the mi of the remaining portion about the x-axis is. So simplifying, I of complete would have been m into what we can say about this like a rod. I assume this like a rod, so it is ml square by 12. So L was 4r square by 12, so that becomes 4 by 3 mr square. That is of the complete. Now of the cut section. So if I take of the each cut section, if I take first of all, what is the mass? It's mass upon total mass. So m of cut section upon m, that would be its area is pi r square. Total area was 16r square, that is pi by 16 times the total mass. So of each single one, because it is a tangential here, so I of single one would be mr square by 2 about this line plus mr square, that is 3 by 2 mr square. So this of the cut complete, that is 4 times I cut, would be 4 into 3 by 2 this m cut. It is not m, it should be m cut. I should write m cut r square, that is 6 m cut is pi by 16 m r square. So what you have now, 3 pi by 8 m r square. So the remaining one would be subtraction of this. So 4 by 3 minus 3 pi by 8 into m r square. So now what we have, 4 by 3 minus 3 pi by 8. If I can do any option I can get, I am not getting any option. It would be no option. I am getting like this. So here no option is correct. I am taking it as the bonus one. I think the answer they have given is about z-axis. About z-axis, if you will do, that option will come that they have given, but about x-axis, this is the answer which is not given in any option. So might be a typo mistake from them or whatever, but answer is not coming, that is for sure. Next, we have two identical containers A and B having the same volume of the ideal gas at same temperature, have the mass m1 m2 such that 2m1 is 3m2. The gas in each expands isothermally to double its volume. If the change in pressure in A is 300, then the change in pressure in B. I think this is the again question I have done yesterday or day before. Now, each expands isothermally to double its volume, change in pressure. So pressure would be reduced. So delta PA would be equals to PA by 2. That will become half, that is 300 Pascal. So what would be delta PB now? So first of all, because they have same volume of an ideal gas at same temperature, have the mass as M1 and M2. So what we can say, pressure is nRT by V. So if I take the ratio of PA by PB, that would be Na upon Nb, because temperature is same, volume is same, that is Na upon Mb, and Na upon Mb would be the mass, assuming same molar mass. So Ma upon Mb is 3 by 2. So therefore the pressure in B is 2/3 of the pressure in A. Therefore the delta PB, that is going to be PB by 2, would be equals to, let's say you can say that I can write it as PB by 2 would be PA by 3. So PA by 2 was 300, that means PA was 600. 600 by 3 means 200 Pascal. So I can go for option A, again an easy one. Next, the air column in a pipe closed at one end is made to vibrate in its second overtone by a tuning frequency 440 if the speed is 330 and corrections may be neglected. Let P0 denote the mean pressure at any point in the pipe and delta P0 be the maximum amplitude of pressure variation, the amplitude variation of in the middle of the column. Okay, so it is in the second overtone and is closed at one end. So in the terms of the displacement, if I talk about displacement wave, would be, because it is in the second overtone, so it would be something like this. We will be having 1 to 2.5 loops. Okay, so this is what we will be having in terms of what we say is the displacement, and in terms of pressure it would be the reverse of this. It would be something like this. The variation would be like this. Now what happens in the middle of that you need to remember. So in the middle, if I check it out, let's say I started from here, x equal to 0 to let's say x equal to L. So what I can say, the delta P would be equals to delta P0. It would be sine kx for sure, because x equal to 0, it is 0. So sine kx, k is what? Here if I do this L will be what I can say, this is lambda by 2, lambda and lambda by 4. That is what I can write it as 5 lambda by 4. So 2 pi by lambda will become 4L by 5 into what say x something like this. So in the middle x will be L by 2, so that would be, this is general, so delta p in the middle section will be delta p naught sine of what I can write, this is 8 pi by, sorry, this is 10 pi by 4L into L by 2. So ln goes 5 pi by 4, 5 pi by 4 means it is 1 by root 2, because I need to check only the magnitude, so I'll go for delta p naught by root 2. This is option A that I'm getting. Next, so nice question it was. You have two masses m and small m, where they are are attached with string as shown in the figure. For the system to be in equilibrium, we must have, this is a very nice photo looking. So what it would be, first of all, how to do such a profile. First of all, I can say if this is t, this will be t, because their x component has to be balanced. So this 2t by root 2 is equal to small mg. So t comes out as mg by root 2. This is the first thing that we are going to get. I don't know where this p coming from. There might be some in question or there. Now this tension will be acting here, this mg will be acting here. So let's say this would be some tension t dash. So what we will have now, this t dash, what I can write, sine of theta, t dash sine of theta, it is going up, that should be equals to t cos of theta, because this is not cos of theta, sorry, it is also sine theta, because this angle will be theta, and let me draw it, this angle will be theta, so that is t sine theta plus mg, and t sine theta is mg. So what we have this like the angles are different, be careful. Let me draw it again. I have taken it to be the same, it's not definitely going to be same. Let me try it again, because that there is a twist here. So there is a twist here, so let me draw it again. So this would be 2t, and this angle is 45 for sure, but this angle is different, so let it be t dash, let it be t. So along the vertical, what I have, t dash sine of theta is equal to t by root 2 plus capital mg, because that capital mg will also be here. So this is t by root 2, that is mg by 2 plus mg, that is what I can get as t dash sine theta. We are searching for theta. And similarly, t dash cos of theta, t dash cos of theta must balance t by root 2, that is mg by 2. So now I can get tan theta, divide the both, tan theta would be mg by 2 plus capital mg upon mg by 2. So it comes out as 1 plus 2m by m, that is what I'm getting, 1 plus 2m by m. So as per the options, this is option A. So nice question this was again. The activity of a radioactive substance decreases to 1/3 in 3 days, and then in 9 days what happens? Again, I have taught you many times in those, if you are watching my these sessions, I always say if it is r0 and it becomes r0 by x in some t0 time, so I directly say in 2 t0 times it will become r0 by x square, in 3 t0 it will become r0 by x cube. This is the power of exponential. So 9 days is triple of that, so that will become 1 by 3 cube, so it will become 1 by 27 of the original one. That is not limited only to that half life, it is for any time, 1/3 life, you can say something like that. So it is 1 by 27 of the original life. The glass of optical fiber has a refractive index 1.55, cladding 1.51, then the surrounding medium is air. The numerical aperture is, now you need to remember this numerical aperture. This is one time given in JEE advanced question, but they have defined it, but here they didn't define it, and you are not expected to remember this. So what I can say, it is basically given as mu greater, let's say 1 square, 1 would be greater minus mu2 square upon mu of air. That is what you will have as numerical aperture here. So simply if you remember this numerical aperture, you can directly put it 1.55 square minus 1.51 square upon 1. That is what you can write. So this is basically, if you solve it out, 1.55 square minus 1.51 square by 1. So what you will have, 155, let me try it. So 155 5s, if I try 750, 775, again 775 plus 77, that would be 825, 845, 852, 85, 155 and 85, that is 160 and 80, 240. So it is 2.4025, and similarly 151, let me try it, 151 ones are 151, 151 5s is 755 and 15, that is 770, 155 plus 77, that is 155, 205, 225, 227. So it is 2.2701 by 1. Okay, so it is 0.13, and 0.13 if I take it would be slightly less than 0.4, so 0.350 I can go for. So this is a calculation plus this formula. If you know, I doubt how many you will be remembering this. Liquid oxygen at 50 Kelvin is heated to 300 Kelvin at a constant pressure of 1 atm. The rate of heating is constant among the following graph that represents the variation of temperature with time. So we know as the temperature keeps on increasing, its phase will change, because at 50 Kelvin it is liquid and 300 Kelvin it would be gas. So there will be a phase transformation, so there would be a flat line in between. So going by the option, we have flat line, we are getting the two options looks like same. Let me check what's the difference in the C and D. So in the C and D, it is hard to make out. It's tough for me to make out. I can't predict. Let's say this is looking more straightish as compared to that, so go for C. Otherwise there's hardly anything to match up. It should have been drawn more properly, I suppose. Next, two spheres, same material, radii 1 and 4, temperature this and this, ratio of the energy radiated per second to that. Again, I think this is getting repeated. We know H is proportional to that A T ki power 4, so that H1 by H2 would be A1 by A2, that is R square T to the power 4 I can write. So it is 1 by 4 square, and it would be 4000 by 2000, that is 2 to the power 4, that will be basically 1 by 16 into 16 by 1, that is 1:1. Okay, so least value is 1 plus 1, 2 here. Okay, so exact question was not there, but the concept was there, I remember. Next, you have a concave mirror of focal length 20 centimeter, convex lens of focal length 10 centimeter, kept with their optic axis parallel but separated by half a centimeter. Distance is 10 centimeter between them. Object of height 3 mm is placed on the optic axis of lens at 15 centimeter from the lens. Find the length of the image formed by the mirror. Okay, so first of all, the length of this is 10 and this is placed at a distance 15. So first, applying the formula 1 by v minus 1 by u, which is minus 1 by 15, it is equal to 1 by 10. So 1 by v comes out as 1 by 10 minus 1 by 15, it comes out as 30, 30, 30, 30, this comes out as 1, so v is 30. So 30 means it will be here at a distance 20 from here. And because it was double distance, so height will be 6, it would be like this. So this is 6 mm, so 3 mm from its optical axis, you can say here it would be like this. So let me rub it, you can understand yourself. Okay, so it is 6 mm, so 3 mm downwards. Now, so for this, now object is virtual, so you will have as plus 20, so apply the formula 1 by v plus 1 by 20 is equal to 1 upon, it would be negative, negative would be 20, so 1 by v would be minus 1 by 10, so v is minus 10. So we'll have an image at 10 centimeter here, so it is getting at half a distance, so height will reduce to half, so length of the image would be 6, half of 6, that is 3 mm for sure. So you can directly go for 3 mm, because you know magnification is v by u magnitude, so it is half, so 6 will become 3 mm. Next, figure shows the variation of internal energy with density of an ideal monogas for a process. AB is a part of rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola means u into rho is constant and u is proportional to t, so that is rho into t is constant. So what we know, Pm naught is equal to rho RT. So if rho RT is constant, that means pressure is constant for sure, or you can say T by V is constant or pressure is constant. So AB is isobaric for sure. So work done in the gas in the processes, work done you know is equals to in isobaric processes nR delta T. What do you write? It is nR delta T. So and delta U you know is equal to NCV delta T, because it is a monoatomic gas, it is 3 by 2 nR delta T. So you can directly write it as 2 by 3 of delta U, which is what you can say, because it is a rectangular hyperbola, this would be 5 because the product will remain same, so it changes by 3, so change would be 2. So work done would be equals to 2 joules here. So again a question you could do if you are thorough with the processes. Next, stationary body explodes into 4 identical fragments such that 3 of them fly off mutually perpendicular with same energy E naught. If the energy of the explosion will be k times of E naught, find the value of k. So 3 equal goes in, let's say they have velocity v naught I cap, other will have v naught j cap. So what do you have? mv naught I cap, mv naught j cap plus mv naught k cap plus the last one, that would be mv4, and this should be 0 because it was at rest. So v4 from here comes out as Magnitude wise, if you take it as root 3 v naught, so that means its kinetic energy will be thrice of it, 3 e naught plus e naught, that is 6 e naught. So k value comes out to be 6. Again, an easy question, not a tough one for you. Next, lift is ascending, that is going up with acceleration 1, then with constant velocity, and finally it stops under constant retardation. If total distance is 7 and the total journey is 8, find the time for which it moves with constant velocity. So we generally do it like the train questions. First it accelerates and constant velocity and then retards. And because both magnitude are same, I can commonly say if this is t naught, this would be t naught. So this would be, total time is 8, so it would be 8 minus 2 t naught for sure. And this value would be, because acceleration is 1, so 1 into t naught. So now the area will give me the distance because it is a VT curve. So distance would be sum of parallel sides. This sum of parallel sides is 8 minus 2 t naught plus 8 complete into t naught. And this is given as 7. So half 16 minus 2 t naught into t naught equals to 7. 2 cancel. So 8 minus t naught into t naught is 7. This is a quadratic. So t naught square minus 8 t naught plus 7 is 0. So t naught minus 7 t naught minus 1. So what we have now, so total time, because it is 8 second, t naught cannot be 7, so I'll go for 1 second for t naught. That means 8 minus 2 t naught, the duration for which it goes with constant velocity will be 6 seconds. So this was today's paper. Keep sharing in your comments, subscribe this channel.